Good morning, people. I'm Michael and I'm going to share with you today my attempt at trying to fix this Hills Hoist. Here's the main problem. So if you try to wind it, it does not go anywhere. So the first step to getting inside, noting that it probably hasn't been opened in a very, very long time, is to first get a penetrating lubricant and spray all of the nuts. Like so. And this one here, the screw, to take off the handle, and we're going to then try to open it up. So to do that, I'm going to get my socket.
Okay, so I've just put the camera on the ground so you can get a clear shot of the Hills Hoist while I try to unbolt it. Now, don't mind our friends here, the chickens. They're going to come and have a look while we're doing this. They're very curious. They might be able to fix the clothesline, another clothesline coming up too. So let's give it a go.
Okay, so all the bolts are off, and I'll now take off the covers. So the first is the rear one, comes off. Oops. Looks like I'm only holding the camera with one hand, so the other one decided to just fall down. But anyway, yep, they both came off, and you can see the gear in there. It's quite dirty with grease and wear, but it's in pretty good condition. There's no broken teeth and it's made out of metal. So I'm pretty optimistic so far about seeing this gear in this state, and it's still quite well greased. Let's look up here. It's, not much to see really. Looks like this is going to require a little bit of a deeper investigation. But at least this gear here, which obviously contacts with that gear down there, is in good condition. So the issue is clearly a little bit more involved. So I got to investigate, and we'll see you soon. Okay, so it turns out taking this thing apart was a little bit more involved than it was for one person. So I got the help of someone else, in this case my kid Eden. Hey, all right, as to pull the thing out of its hole and prop it up so we can get access to its gears, and I'll show you that now. Okay, so here's the parts of it. I've since got a cloth because it's very greasy, and I'm wiping up the grease as I go. And here it is, propped up on the ground. So the corner props were, or the end props were very handy for taking it apart in the first place. But with the help of my kid, we were able to pull the whole thing out and then prop it up with these lengths of wood and a bit of cardboard tube that I found lying around. And now it's ready for me to get busy on working out what's wrong with this thing. So I gave these gears and the housing all quite a bit of a clean. So after the detergent that cut off a lot of the grease, I've since given them a wipe down with some terps. But it was starting to look obvious that the grease, which was described before as a kind of a sticky mud, was really being stubborn to get off. So I brought out the pressure spray, which you can see over there, and gave them a good spray down, which didn't help as much as I'd liked, but it certainly did help with this this worm drive. So that actually took out all of the sticky grease between all of the teeth, and these parts are all looking in pretty good condition. There's no wear on this. I originally thought this could have been in two pieces, but it's not. It's one solid piece of metal. Doesn't look like it's really showing any signs of wear. It's pretty solid and well made. Same with this gear here. This is I forgot the name of these, but it sort of sits down like it's kind of like a washer that fits at the bottom. That's also pretty good condition, and there's the collar which eventually came off. And also, I've decided to give the rusty pole a bit of a paint with some edge primer. So I've hit it with the wire brush, taken off all the loose rust, and I'm going to give it a spray and make it look just a little bit nicer. Okay, I think we've now come to a conclusion. We've looked online. I've looked online and done a bit of research on how these Hills hoists couple with this worm drive into the I think they call this the secondary. There's usually a couple that goes across here, which this latches into as part of the installation. And I think it's the little hook has a particular way it goes in, so that once it's in, it's a bit tricky to get out. So I guess that stabilizes it. And I can only conclude from reading up online and the complete absence or lack of any presence of anything at all that resembles that little piece is that it is simply worn out to the point where it was shredded into filings, which have just become part of the big mass of sticky grease that I just scooped out. So it's completely not there, and I'm going to have to fabricate an entirely new piece to do this job, which I believe originally was this piece here, welded across. I can't find anything online for this particular model. It's so old it doesn't exist anywhere online. The newer ones have slip-on bits, but this has been welded on. And I believe the bit that holds onto here was bridged across there completely, and that's just gone. So I'm going to get a metal plate and custom cut it to fit this, which is 50mm, and cut a hole in it, tapered hole, which here is 25mm, and then put the whole thing back together. Okay, I think we have a plan to repair this Hills hoist. So for the bit of metal that's going to go across here, I happen to have found this piece of galvanized metal that was previously used to connect the wire to the main feeder power to our house. An electrician upgraded and left this behind, which has the right thickness. It seems to be the same thickness that they had before. I can see it's about maybe 3 or 4mm thick there. This is definitely at least that, nice and thick. And I'm going to cut it so that it fits across here, trim the corners, and it already comes with a hole. And it may be just the right size. Okay, I think we're getting there. So I've made this little kind of a washer out of that bit of metal that I found, which I cut the corners, or cut down to size, and trim the corners so that it would fit kind of nicely over here. So this means that the this pole will rest on this piece here.
Okay, folks, I'm now about to put together this the assembly of the mechanical assembly of the clothesline, the Hills hoist, and I've got it here in the background so you can watch. And I'm going to replace all the grease with some moly grease, as shown here. I'm going to use lots of it, which is good because I bought this tub and it tends to expire before I get to go through it all. So this is a good use of some grease that I just bought recently, which is good for outdoor use, and also weather resistant, and also obviously lubricating mechanical parts.
Okay, so here we are, folks. I have I didn't have a reamer, but I had a file, and I've just created a bit of a taper in there so that it doesn't sit totally on the sharp edge of the hole. And you can see it's already got kind of a taper there for the focus. There it is. So by putting it on there, I actually kind of have a swivel washer. Now it's all back together. As you can see, went back together pretty easily, actually. Okay, so now I'm going to try and put this thing back into its original state and see if we've fixed our Hills hoist. All right, I'm going to do this by myself because my helpers are all out at the moment. So, well, let's see if we can just do this bit on our own. So here we go. Okay, so here we have it, folks. Basically it's all assembled and it works, goes up and down, and it also turns, which is exactly what you want it to do. Runs quite nicely actually. It seems to have done pretty well. With the little bit of a struggle, you saw me trying to prop it up on my own and get it into its shaft here, the secondary as they call it, into the shaft. Finally got in there with just a bit of delicate, just to align it up and then slot it in, and it slips right in. Anyway, so it's now in a kind of a medium wound state. There was a slight setting needed for this collar, so that basically when it's fully wound down, it will rest on here quite nicely and lock it in so it doesn't turn. So I've been a few modifications. So I turned this collar around so you can see the Hills Hoist logo or writing here on the collar. So I thought that'd be a nice touch to have it face forwards. And also another interesting feature is down here is what looks like the year it was made. So it says HH 7/58, so maybe it was made in July 1958. So this has been around for a very long time, certainly much longer than me, and it's obviously sustained an entire lifetime of hanging out washing, but also obviously kids swinging on it. Quite a good little device, and now that it works again, maybe it'll last for another 70 years, who knows. But anyway, that's the Hills Hoist clothesline fix. My name's Michael. Thank you for watching.